Hello everyone, this is Lisa with Lisa's Coloring Corner. If you're new here, hello and welcome to the channel. And if you're back, welcome back. I am back. Yay! Oh my gosh, it's been a hot minute, eh? Just a few months. Hopefully, I'm back for good. August 5th will be the determining factor about that, and we'll get into that in the chat. Okay. Today, I thought we'd color out of a nice, relatively easy one to ease me back into the channel. This is a new one by Alice Mills Publishing. New-ish, because she has come out with another new one. Now, I did not do a flip through of this yet on my channel because, yeah, I have a stack over here. So I'm not going to show you all the pictures in this video. I will wait for the flip through for that. So I just thought we would color the next one. Now, I did color one and I was working on this one, so I just thought we would work on the next one in the book. She has another Christmas book out and I just love that one. It was the first one of hers that I completed. So as you can see, this is a full page one, so the full page takes a little bit longer to do. You do have full page ones. Oh, no, yeah, we have oddball shaped ones for the Christmas. Normally you have a full page, an oval shaped one, and a round one. And you'll see that when I do the flip throughs. Now, it may be a little bit different between the mosaic and the cross-stitch versions that she has of these books. Cross-stitch versions are made to look like they're in a hoop. So yeah, just thought of that. They may look different in those books. We shall find out. All right, what I'm going to use today are, and I recently, within the past few months, did a swatching and thorough review of these markers. These are the new Olo markers that came out on the market. So I haven't colored a whole lot with these. But let me put that back in. I have these in an Arteza case right now, so see if we keep them in there. Let's see, Alice Mills. Yeah, I'm a little OCD about stuff like this. Okay, so here's the Olo markers. Now, I haven't colored out of Alice Mills Publishing books with the Olo markers. Typically, the first few times when I color with them, I end up making some changes. So we'll see how close I am to what I want for the colors. So why don't we start with the pinks? I love the fact that she has reference pictures over here, because then you can kind of decide what you want to do first. We have quite a few pinks. I typically do the objects first, and then I do the background. Just seems easier that way. So, pink is number 16. And for pink, I have our, let's see, our 5.3. And that is this. Now, you have different options when ordering these. Chisel or brush. They are going to be coming out with a fine tip. I'll leave below a link to the video where I did a review and swatch of these markers. So yeah, I opted for the brush and brush because that's what I use the most. Okay, now I do have new lights up here, but if I turn them on, it's way too shiny on this shiny paper. So I elected to, okay, go off. Thank you. to go without, so it may be a little shadowy. The sun is out and I'm next to the window, so I hope this will suffice. We'll be zoomed in more anyhow for the coloring. So, okay. So, yes. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll see if I even remember how to do all this. Sheesh. Oh, I don't know if you need to be zoomed in that much. All right. So, yeah, pink 16. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. What's 22? Oh, light gray. Okay. All right. 16. I love these books, both the cross stitch and these newer mosaics. But I thought for today the mosaic would be a little bit easier because they are easier to color than the cross stitch books. Just easier to see. And they're using numbers rather than the teeny tiny little symbols. If you're not familiar with these books, I should shortly have a video up doing flip-throughs. It's going to be a big haul because she sent me all her back books. So yeah, I have a lot of them sitting here. So how is everyone doing? Oh my goodness. I am doing good. I is all better. No more gas bubble. Yay. It took about 11 weeks for that thing to completely go away. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But because of all the stress with what Bob has been going through, I just did not feel like coming back to the channel yet. So I apologize for that. It still is, yeah, highly stressful, but I missed you guys. And so I thought, oh, I should, yeah, I'm just going to do a color and chat, catch up with you guys. I hope I see a lot of comments as far as how you guys are doing, what you've been up to since August. Oh my gosh, August to September to October to, it's been over 3 months, guys. Had to have done something by then, right? We are into late fall / early winter. I would have just said winter a little while ago, but today it is absolutely stunning out. Now, I would think it was late fall because we hit 50 today. It is unreal. For anybody that didn't have their Christmas decorations out like us, today is the perfect day to do it. So, we got a few things out anyhow. Not like I used to decorate before, because Bob just isn't up to doing it all. And he's my primary Christmas decoration putter-upper. We'll get into him a little bit later. Let's start off with happy things. So, even though this is a number of months ago, my daughter's wedding in August. Everything happened with my eye right after that. So, I haven't even been able to do a color and chat since her wedding. Shame, shame. It went really well, other than the weather. Weather was not cooperating for the rehearsal on Friday night because it was an outside wedding. Yeah, we were going through the steps and everything for the second time, started absolutely pouring. Oh my God. Everybody rushed to the country club because it was on a golf course. It was just, oh, I don't know what you call it, not chalet, clubhouse, whatever. It's just stunning. And they have this great big ballroom that they rent out for weddings. Partially decorated, 2 huge, beautiful chandeliers. And then Heather was working her butt off. Tons and tons and tons of decorations that she made. Both with her Cricut maker and arranging flowers. And all the bridesmaids' flowers. The flower girls' little baskets with flowers. And, oh my gosh. I don't know how she did it all. I really don't. But it was stunning. I'm going to insert some pictures. I am starting to work with some new editing software, and I really like it. It has way too many bells and whistles than what I need, but yet it has a couple more things than what I used to use that I really wanted. I was using a free Windows version. You can no longer get it. And while it did the job, like I said, it just didn't do a couple of things that I really wanted. So I bought this software by Wondershare, and I still don't understand it all. So whether I'm going to end up using the new editing software or go back to the old familiar editing software, which is a good possibility because I just have so many videos to do. Oh. So it may just go faster in this case to do it with the old and just get them up. In the future, though, I do want to start using the new. So in here, I would like to insert just a few pictures of the many that I have from the wedding. I really don't know what order I'm putting them in, but it will approximately be a picture of the entire bridesmaid group with the guys and the gals and the little flower girls. There were 3 flower girls, Maddie, her daughter, if you're new to my channel, of course, being the head flower girl. And then little Levi, Heather's son, yeah, was getting to be a little shy, and he didn't want to be in a lot of stuff. He was the ring bearer and was absolutely adorable. So I'm going to be inserting a picture of him too. I believe I have one. He had a little bow tie on and suspenders and cowboy boots, because all the guys wore jeans and cowboy boots with a relatively nice, dressier shirt. Adam, her husband, is an outdoorsy person, not a dress-up person whatsoever. There is no way you were going to get that man in a tux. Nope. So Heather kind of compromised. She's pretty easygoing, so decided they could all wear matching jeans, matching shirts, and then their cowboy boots, because they all had cowboy boots. So yeah, guys are in jeans. The gals are all in these long, dress-up gowns. But it still looked nice. Still looked nice. Her colors were like a real kind of maroonish and then like a dusty rose. So my oldest daughter, Tanya, was her bridesmaid. So she was in a different color. And, oh no, she had all the gals alternating maroon, dusty rose, maroon, dusty rose. But then my daughter Tanya had a tiara, just like Heather did for the wedding, so she was still a little special. And yes, like I said, it was outside. It was down by, they have a huge pond with a fountain in the middle. It's just gorgeous. Unfortunately, we found out at the rehearsal the fountain made too much noise and we couldn't hear them talking at all. So we had to have the fountain turned off for the wedding. It was still really pretty though. The backdrop was gorgeous. So the wedding day, weather still wasn't cooperating, but it wasn't pouring rain. I mean, they had an alternative. You know, if they decided at the last minute it had to be inside, they had a place where they could quickly set up a bunch of chairs. The owners of this place, very, very nice, very accommodating. So they, you know, they had things planned out for both scenarios. And while it wasn't pouring, it was misting pretty heavily at times. Sometimes it would let up a little. Sometimes it would really get heavy. But it worked. It worked. It wasn't a long ceremony at all. They had to have some humorous lines in there. With Levi being the ring bearer, he did not want to walk it down at all. So Bob is the one who walked me to my seat, and Bob was the one who ended up carrying Levi down then. Levi loves his Grandpa Bob, so that was kind of cute. So he sat with us for a while, and Maddie did too. Yeah, so reception was nice, dance was fantastic. So yeah, again, I'll insert some of them. I'll see if, I think I have a picture of, yeah, I do, a picture of Adam and Heather together. Then the last one, I have a really nice picture of Heather and I. I normally do not like any pictures of mine, of me. This one, however, I thought turned out relatively nice. And my daughter looks so gorgeous. The dress was so flattering on her. I loved the dress I bought. The back is even pretty. I loved how it went. I don't have a picture of that, though. I wish I did. Quite different. It had like a keyhole cut out. It was really pretty. So yeah, I'll insert some pictures. Now with the new editing software, this is one of the things I really wanted, is where I talked and I could pop up pictures at the same time while I was talking. With my existing software, I can't do that. So if I do use the old software, you'll just see the pictures popping up on the screen by themselves with no talking. If I do end up attempting to use the new software, which again I kind of doubt, for this color and chat I especially want to try to do it because of that fact where I'm inserting pictures. But yeah, if I do use the new software, then I will be popping up on the screen as we are talking, so I'm not sure which way it's going to go. But if I do end up inserting the pictures because I'm using the old software, I will insert everything right here. Okay. Like I said, 9 chances out of 10, you just seen the pictures. All right, so yeah, that was the wedding. It was just, like I said, it was fantastic. Everybody looked awesome. And it was a fun, fun time. Now, driving up Friday for the rehearsal is when I first noticed the big white blob happen in my right eye. Now, I have a big white floater in my left eye, and I've had it for a while, and it is so annoying because it goes in front of my vision a lot. I can't see through it. It's like looking through really dense fog. You know how annoying that is. And all of a sudden, I got this in the right eye, too. It wasn't as bad. I, for the most part, could see through it. And I just thought, oh, great. Now I got it in the right eye, too. Just had cataract surgery. Bummer. So I was going to mention it in a checkup, recheck on the cataract surgery. So yeah, wedding went off without a hitch. Starting on, oh my gosh, it's been so long ago, I forgot when. Wednesday, that's right. No, starting before that, Monday or Tuesday, Monday, I started noticing this like black coming up from the lower right-hand side of my sight. Like, what the heck is that? Didn't think a whole lot of it, though, because, okay, got the big white floater. Now, is that a big black floater that's down there or something? But it didn't move like a floater, so wasn't sure. Didn't want to panic. I figured it was maybe something normal. Well, then by Tuesday, it was getting worse. It was, you know, starting to come up. Like, do I worry about this or not? I am one that I don't want to call the doctor for, you know, I'm so afraid of looking stupid, you know, for calling in for something that's totally normal. And they're like, yeah, that happens. What's your problem? You know, something like that. So, definitely didn't want to call at that point. So I kind of just left it go. Well, then Wednesday, yeah, it was getting worse. And then throughout the day, it was getting worse and worse until it was up, not halfway, it wasn't up that far, maybe a quarter of the way. Bob had already gone to bed, and I decided to start doing some Googling. Now, I know I should never do that, but I had to find out kind of what this was all about. And the more and more I researched, the more and more, yeah, I found out, yeah, it could be a detached retina. So finally, about 11 o'clock at night, I'm just toying back and forth yet, you know, is it something? Is it really a torn retina? Is it not? I just didn't want to wake up Bob for nothing. So probably it took me, I bet you, half an hour to talk myself into going and waking this poor man up, asking him to take me into emergency. You know, and he jumps out of bed and he's like, yeah, what's the matter? You know, and I explained to him, and he goes, yeah, let's get going. I mean, him, you know, he, of course, has no problem with that, but I just, like I said, I felt bad getting him up. So, went into emergency Wednesday night. They had an eye specialist on call, thank heavens. They quickly did an ultrasound of the eye. I didn't even know they could do such a thing, but it's your typical ultrasound. They put goop on your eye and have that little thing that they press down, you know, to see the image. And right away. She's like, yes, it is a detached retina. So she said you have to get in contact with the eye clinic right away, first thing in the morning. I'm sure they will get you in right away. And so that's what I was going to do. She got in contact with my eye doctor that night already and explained what was going on. I didn't even have a chance to call the doctor, the office, right away in the morning. They called me. They open at 8. They called me like 5 minutes after 8. I'm like, wow. They got me in within, what was it, 45 minutes? I just flew, getting ready and then driving in. So I think I started realizing the seriousness of the situation. And so then my doctor looked, or surgeon, whatever you want to call him, looked at my eye and said, oh yes, it is not only detached, but there is a very large tear. I'm like, what? Yeah. And then I had what is called macular off, which made it even worse. If it was MAC on, it would have been considered an emergency, and I would have had to have gotten into surgery immediately. But because it was already MAC off, it wasn't as much of an emergency because they didn't have to save that. Now, MAC means macular. That is the most important part of your vision. It is the center of your vision. It's your main portion, your center portion of your vision. So if that is already detached, yeah, it's not quite as important to get you in immediately to save it before the macular is detached, if that makes any sense. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that was Thursday then. I had to wait because they only do surgeries on Thursdays and Tuesdays. So I had to wait until the following Tuesday to have my surgery done. I was a nervous wreck over the weekend. Let's do 22 light gray. So I think that pink is pretty good. Light gray, CG3. CG, where's my CGs? CG. Okay. 22. Yeah, I hope the lighting is okay for you guys. Like I said, I know it's kind of shadowy. If you're like me, you're doing your own thing. So, either coloring, diamond painting, chores, other crafts. So, then this shouldn't bother you. Anyhow, yeah, got into surgery. Now for that, because for cataract surgery, you really don't get looped up at all. You're not put out. You just, if you feel you need it, you get a relaxation pill, a Valium, which I did opt for. To me, it didn't do anything. But for the torn and detached retina, while you're not put out, you are really loopy. It's the best I can put it. About as much out as you can get without being totally out. So, yeah, I didn't feel anything, of course, and really at that point didn't care what they were doing to my eye. They could have probably taken it out, and I wouldn't have even noticed. Oh, that's bad. Anyhow, surgery went well. I had to position downwards for an hour. And then for the next, how long was it? Couple weeks, I had to position my head to the left. So I had to walk around with my head to the left. I could not sleep on my back. I had to sleep on my right side, which was fantastic because that's how I do sleep. First, I do sleep on my back. Then I turn to my right side. So I just had to sleep on my right side, which was not a problem. But the entire time I was up, I had to have my head tilted to the left, which is so much better than what some people have to go through, which is being completely face down the entire time. They have like a special bed you can, or a table, you can rent from them that you lay down. It's kind of like a massage table with the cutout hole for your face. And then they even have equipment that you can use like on the table for, you know, positioning your head. I mean, they have all kinds of things out for having to position face down for that period of time. But thankfully, and I was so scared I was going to have to do that. I just had myself talked into the fact that I was going to have to go face down, and I was preparing myself, okay, how am I going to, I was going to put the coffee table underneath this table we'd have to rent, and I was going to be able to have my iPad on. I mean, I had things all worked out. I have to have plans ahead of time for everything. But I didn't have to do that. I was getting a stiff neck, having to hold my head to the side, but I told Bob to watch and remind me if I'm not tipping it, because sometimes, you know, you just don't think of it, and I'd end up putting my head straight back up. And he'd go, Lisa, head. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, so now it's kind of funny. And I go, Bob, breathe. And again, we'll get into that. So I'm getting them back. So yeah, the surgery went well. I did have to have the long-acting gas bubble put in. I did say in my update video, I have a lot of this in there. There's a short-acting and a long-acting gas. Because of what all happened with my eye and the seriousness, they did use the long-acting gas, and that's why it took so long for that gas bubble to come out. What that gas bubble does is it forces the retina back against the eye wall so that it can reattach. And the detachment is what causes the tear. And I guess the tear was quite big, so they kind of, I guess you'd call it cauterizing. They use a laser kind of around the tear, and it mends back together. Don't ask me how they do it. They go in through the eye. I know, doesn't that freak you out? It just gives a person shivers. They insert 3 different things into your eyeball. Yeah. Like I said, you don't feel a thing. You don't know what they're doing, so yeah. But then they do it all with these 3 little things. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, laparoscopic surgery to me is incredible, how they can use surgical instruments to do things that way. But doing this inside a teeny tiny thing like an eye, wow, that takes talent. And he did a fantastic job. Oh my gosh. Like I said in that update video, he said the best you can probably hope for, as far as, I missed a pink, and I figure I'd better do it quick. You know, he said at least you won't be blind in that eye, but the best you are probably going to get is like 20/35, 20/40, maybe even worse. And I'm like, well, you know, my left eye is, you know, probably going to take over, because my left eye was 20/15. after the cataract surgery. So I was ecstatic about that. Still had all the floaters and my big white blob, big white floater. But yeah, I could see fantastic out of it. So I had my checkups. Was doing good. Now I had my last checkup this past Tuesday. I was so ecstatic. Guess what my vision is in that eye? 2020. It's 2020. Oh my gosh. I was ecstatic. I knew it was really clear. It's actually clearer than my left eye. The only problem, there's one problem, and I asked them about this, is everything looks smaller in my right eye. Just a little bit. Everything looks like it's farther away. So when I look at writing, you know, words and stuff, when I can read it with my left eye sometimes, I can't read it with my right eye because, again, it's a little bit farther away. And I was hoping that was going to switch, you know, it was going to change. And, you know, as the bubble went away, I thought just the bubble had something to do with it. No, now that the bubble's been gone for a while, it's still smaller. So I asked my surgeon about that on Tuesday. And he had a kind of laugh. He says, we just had a conference about this very same thing. And they explained, you know, why this happened and everything and what he all said. There's a name for the condition, and I have no idea what it was. There's no way I'd remember. Let's see if I have everything here. Seems like there's one up here. Okay. But yes, I guess it's a condition that sometimes is common, especially with the severity of mine. And let's see, here's a 22. I said, well, am I always going to have this? And he said, no, it should change. He said, but it's going to take a long time. It changes very, very slowly, but it will change. And I'm like, oh, good. It's really odd. Not always, but once in a while, you can kind of tell the difference between the two eyes when you're looking. But the vast majority of the time, the left eye just kind of takes over. So while it's an odd situation and it sometimes bugs me, it's not that bad. And as long as I know that it will rectify itself, okay, all is right in the world. Let's go to Peach, number 10, OR 4.4. OR 4.4. Okay, that's number 10. So yes, eye is doing fantastic, better than I even imagined. I did ask them again about the huge white floater in my left eye, because when I brought it up to my cataract surgeon, who is different than my retina surgeon, try to keep these names all straight, especially when they both start with a K. One ended up with a ski on the end, S-K-I, and the other one ended in an A-K. So they were kind of similar, and it's like, oh my gosh, keep these names separate. Anyhow, my cataract surgeon had said we could possibly look at, we'd look at that after the cataract surgery, is all healed and stuff, and possibly do a vitrectomy, which is removing all the fluid again from your eyeball, removes all that fluid along with the floaters. And I said that would be fantastic. So I had mentioned that to my retina surgeon, And he said, oh yeah, he says, we can do that. Unfortunately, my retina surgeon is retiring. I really liked him. He was so nice, kind of funny. So I go in to see Dr. Ashbrenner, who was taking over for him on December 12th or 13th, something like that. And we'll see what he says. So again, I'm imagining I'm going to have a gas bubble, but I'm sure this is going to be the short-acting gas bubble. So I may be, again, away from the channel for a little bit. Not near as long as this time, because it's a pretty minor surgery. My sister had to have it done in both eyes because it was to the point her floaters prevented her from reading and everything. So, and yeah, she said it was not bad at all. So I am actually looking very forward to that. Getting rid of my big white blob. Because when I'm coloring or diamond painting, especially diamond painting, because I'm looking down at the drills, up to the canvas, down to the drills, up to the canvas. Whenever I look down to up, this big white floater is right in the middle. So then I have to look up and down to get rid of it. So I'm having to move my eye all over the place just to color and diamond paint. And other things, but yeah, especially crafting. And of course I'm going to craft. It would drive me nuts if I couldn't color or diamond paint. So yes, I have been busy doing both. Even when I couldn't see real well, I did say in my update video, I showed you the headset magnifiers and my eye patch that I was using. And yeah, came in very, very handy. Allowed me to color and diamond paint. Both of those colors are kind of dark. I actually may end up changing them. I don't know. What do they look like in the camera? They do look lighter. I don't know. I think this is too close to orange because there is an orange also. So yeah, we'll have to see. Like I said, after I color with a specific set of markers, I have to color for a while in a few color by number books. Like here, yeah, I probably will switch a few colors out. If I color out of like Belba Families or Color Questopia, I may change a few colors. It all depends. So we know all these 7s are greens. We do have some 21s, which are light purple. V4.3. V4.3. I love the way these are numbered. Because they're so easy to find in the case. They go right in order. All right. Okay, 21s. So, yeah, that is the update on my eyes. Yeah, and then there's Bob. You know, they say things come in threes, right? Well, there was me. There's Bob with his ongoing problems. And now, just this week, my ex-husband had a heart attack. It's like, oh my God. It just, oh, when it rains, it pours. He is doing okay. I guess I'll talk a little bit about him before Bob. Bob may take a little bit longer. Yeah, he was shoveling after we had gotten, you know, an amount of snow, which seems to happen. You know, said he just didn't feel right, called his girlfriend, and she came over, and yeah, he had the classic symptoms. So I don't know if she took him in or an ambulance was called or what, but they went in through his wrist. Rather than going up through the groin, I guess they like going up the arm more now, which makes sense. You know, it's closer to the heart, a little less invasive. I guess slower recovery time, so it does make sense. So they go in there, and his one artery was 100% blocked. One was 70% blocked. So they were able to get a stent in the 100% blocked artery. Then his kidneys start to, as my daughter puts it, started to tank. Started to kind of give out. Now, he does have polycystic kidneys, but it wasn't necessarily due to that. It was due to his kidneys not liking the dye that, you know, they use in this procedure. So they had to immediately get him out of anesthesia and start flushing his system with fluids really fast so that they could work on getting this dye out of his system. I mean, his kidneys were killing him. He said they hurt really bad. Heather was up by him, took a picture of his arm. Oh my God, is that thing black and blue from his wrist all the way to the elbow. Bet you it's really pretty by now. He started having problems again. I can't remember what happened, but they ended up having to go back in right away. And while they were in there, I can't remember if something happened with the stent they put in that they had to go in there. For some reason they did. And then they were able to also put a stent in the 70% blocked one. Rather than, otherwise he would have had to go back next week to have that one done. So now he doesn't have to go back. So, yeah, he's doing good. His kidneys, I guess, are still really hurting him. He isn't drinking enough water like he's supposed to be, I guess. But, yeah, otherwise he's doing good. He was only in the hospital for, was it 2 or 3 days? I mean, they really boot you out the door really fast these days, don't they? So, yeah, like I said, things come in threes. All right. It was so funny, though. Now, this is a funny thing in regard to my eye. When I first had it done, and I couldn't see out of it, and I would shake my head, and the bubble would wobble, too. It was just the weirdest thing, you know, like looking through clear jello. It was bizarre. But I couldn't see real well. Heather came over with the kids. I can't remember why, if she was dropping something off. But Maddie heard us talking, you know, about Grandma not being able to see too good and, you know, things like that. And she was totally serious. And she goes, oh, it would be really easy to play hide and go seek with Grandma. Oh my God. Heather and I just cracked up. It was so funny. And yeah, she was serious. Let's go to the 4 light blue. Yeah, it just brightened my day. B 4.3. Never a dull moment. You know, as they say, out of the babe's mouth. Is that how it goes? Yeah, it was funny. So, yeah, I had to lighten this color and chat up a little bit. Kind of a Debbie Downer, but, you know, I guess we as creators, we talk about what's going on in our lives in these color and chats. So, I'm sorry if, you know, you're already having a down day and you don't want to hear, you know, other people having problems too. And I totally understand if, you know, you're not here any longer because you don't want to hear this. But yeah, it's just my life right now. So yeah, update on Bob. Oh, not good. went down to have this. I'm not even sure where I dropped off in this never-ending saga with Bob. Yeah, can't remember. So we'll just start with, we had to drive all the way down to Madison. Now, Madison is a good 2.5 hours from us. Could be worse, I know, but it's still a long drive. And we had to meet with, because Bob's regular surgeon down there now looked at the scans that Bob had to go down previously for, and because I guess everybody's what do you want to say, system I guess looks a little bit different after they have the oh god, forgot how it's pronounced, ectomy, where they remove his esophagus and they kind of make a new one out of his stomach. You know, it all looks a little bit different, and everybody's looks different because of different things that they have to do in each unique situation. So he looked at it, and he didn't think he himself could really do much. But he had a colleague that was very innovative at solutions for unique situations. So he had a consultation with her, explained the situation of what was going on. His surgeon wanted us to come back down yet again. Bob is starting to get more and more upset and ornery, and which is typically not his disposition at all. And he pretty much said right out, we're not coming down again. So we ended up having a video appointment, and time to stand. Nope, can't do it. And so yeah, we had a video appointment, and he was wondering if Bob wanted to meet Dr. Shada, is her name, beforehand, or just come down and commute her at that time. Oh, I forgot a big important part. When his surgeon first thought, oh, he really, couldn't do the less invasive procedure, but yet he had this colleague in mind. It was either this big, major, and potentially dangerous procedure, which would 100% correct the problem, or go with Dr. Shada, and there was only a maybe 50-50 chance of it working. Bob is so desperate to have this fixed, He coughs so bad every time he drinks some, and so then he gets dehydrated and no energy and just feels like crap. So I could tell he was initially, this was also an appointment over, it was a video appointment. He had to decide what he wanted to go for. And they told him, you don't have to decide right now. Bob's like, oh, yes, I am. I'm not waiting anymore. And I warned Bob ahead of time that this is probably what's going to happen on this call, is that, you're going to have to decide which way you want to go. And he was kind of back and forth both ways. Like I said, I know he wanted this taken care of so much that he was almost going to go for that major surgery. I mean, they would have to completely cut him open from the middle of his chest all the way over to his right side. because a lot of the organs were in the way. I mean, they have to move. Oh, yeah. It would be a huge, huge, huge surgery. Probably as big as his initial one that he had. I think that's all of the 20 ones. So yeah, if at all possible, really didn't, want to have to go through this. So he ultimately decided to go through the less invasive, even though there's not near as big a chance as it working. There's also a lot less chance of something going wrong, or, just much less invasive and dangerous. But not guaranteed. It's kind of, you really had to weigh what, it was a hard decision for him. And yeah, I can totally I can totally see that. I'm trying to think of that and think about what I'm talking about at the same time. See, color and chats are not as easy as what you think they are. Oh, okay, light yellow. Light yellow, Y 1.2, Y 1.2. So yeah, he decided to do that. So this past Monday is when he had that surgery. We had gone down. Well, actually, it was last Monday, not last Monday. It'll be 2 weeks tomorrow, yeah. It was only supposed to be maybe a 3, possibly 4-hour surgery. Ended up being 8. I was getting so nervous. They weren't giving me any updates on this little disc you get. There's, a place for wording to come across, which is where nurses would give you updates. And I wasn't getting any updates. So I'd go up periodically and ask at the desk, and she, she couldn't help me out anymore because she didn't know of any updates either. 5 is teal, and teal, where am I here? BG 2.4. BG. Oh, up here. 2.4. She couldn't help me out any more than, anybody else. So I was just, sitting there waiting. In the meantime, we were getting really crappy snow up here. Heather was texting me because she had come out to let Bella out potty while we were down there. We only expected to be down there maybe, getting back at, the last time we were down there, we got back about 8. Bob was thinking, oh, we'll get back by like 7 this time, because it was an hour earlier. This time I said, Bob, get real. He didn't like that. I said, well, I would like to think pessimistically and think we're going to get back late and then be pleasantly surprised if we don't, rather than think, oh yeah, we'll be back by shortly after supper time, and then it ends up being 10. Right? It's my philosophy anyhow. Where did I leave off? Oh yeah, the weather was just horrendous. There were accidents all over the place. It wasn't because we were necessarily getting, a foot of snow or anything. We got a number of inches, but it was that really slippery stuff. So yeah, there were people all over in the ditch, I guess, including on 51, which is the interstate that I had to come up all the way from Madison. Now, Madison was perfectly fine, which is south of where I live. So the first maybe hour of driving back home, was okay. Oh, I missed a huge chunk of the story again. The surgery was taking so long, and Heather was updating me about the weather up here, getting worse and worse and worse. Heather had already, by this point, come out twice to let poor Bella out. I knew I had to get home because she was already back up in Tomahawk. She lives like an hour away from me. So she came out after work, like 6 o'clock, to let Bella out again, and then had gone home. So there was nobody around to let Bella out. It was already 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? Finally, he was out of surgery. He was in recovery. He was doing fine. All we have left are the 7s, the greens. So let's do that while we finish talking. G 1.7. G. 1.7. There we go. I was just so torn. I wanted to see him so bad, but because the weather was getting so nasty, yeah, I ended up leaving a message up at information, because they are the ones that are in contact with the patients after hours, because the surgical waiting area, there is only a receptionist there till 5. So then if you have any problems, you go up to the information desk, which is, over a ways. And I left my name, number, said who the patient was, and that I was going to be leaving. That was the hardest decision of my life, I think. But I know Bob, and he would have said, why in the world did you stay, girl? Should have gotten your tail home. So I did. I opted to go home. So yeah, as I said, down in Madison, it was not bad at all. The further and further north I got, oh yeah. By the time I got, less than an hour and a half out of Madison, it was starting to get nasty. And then, of course, it started getting really bad. I had slowed down to maybe 45 miles an hour. And this is a 70-mile-an-hour highway. Yeah. It took a long time to get home, and I was a flippin' nervous wreck. Oh, jeez. Never so happy to be home. Bella was never so happy for me to be home. She was wondering where Daddy was, though. Now, the worst part about this procedure, now, Dr. Shada did call me after the procedure and said that it may possibly have worked. I guess there's 4 layers to your stomach. 4 layers of the lining. Who would have thought? Told you, I'm learning more and more about the anatomy. And she wanted to use a couple of the layers because this was a fistula. It was a hole between his stomach and his right lung. And that's why everything was going into his lower lobe of his right lung whenever he would drink. Eating was fine. Drinking was not. Whereas before, drinking was fine. Eating was not. I mean, this man can't win. Just cannot win. Anyhow, so what she wanted to do was take a couple layers of the stomach lining, pull it up over the top of this fistula or hole. However, that skin or that lining, all the tissue around that fistula was so inflamed and red Because Bob, you know, this has been going on for him where he's been coughing his full head off for months and months, since spring. You know, and just coughing all this stuff up, which I know is gross, sorry, TMI. And it was gross to listen to all the time, too, believe me. But I know he couldn't help it, you know. Had to get this stuff out. So that stomach lining was not very viable. She did it anyhow, and she did get it over the fistula. So fingers crossed it did work. I did kind of tell Bob all this, but not quite all of it. I wanted to be truthful. And Dr. Shada couldn't really give us a percentage as far as there's a 50% chance it'll work, a 60%, a 30%. We really don't know. That is why I said at the beginning of the video that December 6th is going to be the deciding factor of whether I'm going to be back to the channel for good. Other than if I have the vitrectomy in my eye, but that shouldn't be too long. Because if this did not work, as you can imagine, he has to go through that huge, huge, major surgery, which will fix the problem 100%. His surgeon is confident. It is also a very dangerous surgery. Will take a long time to heal. His last one, yeah, it took forever. Yeah. Oh. So, with that, the surgery that she did do, with that being so inflamed, she did not want him eating or drinking. She wanted to give that area time to heal, time for that inflammation to go down, to give it the best chance possible of working. So he is back on a feeding tube, that poor man. So he has not been able to eat or drink anything since we've come back. Because, yeah, he was down there for, I think, 3 days. I keep forgetting things in the story. He was down there for like 3 days. I hated to call him because I figure when I call, it'll be just when he was able to fall asleep and get some rest. So I always waited for him to call me. So we talked a few times a day. Finally, he was able to get out. So I drove back down, picked him up, and came right back. So that time we weren't gone too long. But yeah, now he has this feeding tube in his nose this time. Before he had a J tube that went directly into his stomach, on his stomach down below. This time it's through his nose, both nostrils. Before with the J tube, because the tube was bigger, he only had to have it running with the formula at night, which was great. Unfortunately, when you go through the nose, it's thinner tubing, so he has to have it running almost 24 hours a day, which really sucks. You know, you got this, just like an IV in the hospital. You got to roll this thing around that has this bag hanging down with the formula in, and then the hose going up to his nose comes to a Y connector, and then the tube splits off so it can go in each nostril. Poor guy. So yeah, I've been trying not to eat his favorites in front of him. And I told him, I said, you know, I can go upstairs to eat. He's like, no. And so then I'll make something, goes, what you having? And I'll say, and he's like, oh, wish I could have that. I'm like, I'm sorry. then after I eat it. How was it? I said, oh, it tasted like crap. It was, depending on what I ate, it was so bitter, or, yeah, you didn't miss anything. This is a really dark green. I know it almost looks black on, oh no, now you can see. Yeah, this is the lightest green that Olo has right now. Now, they are going to be adding more colors. Yay. How soon that'll be, who knows. But I do hope they do come out with some more greens. And let's see, they have quite a few purples. But there are definitely some areas that could be filled in. And there's one thing would be a little bit lighter shade of this. Especially for people that like coloring landscapes. Anyhow, boy, talk about going off on rabbit trails. No, rabbit, yeah, I guess. I cannot think straight. My brain, I tell you. Oh, yeah. My mind just is a whirlwind most of the time. I'll sit there and I'll just sit there and think about this and that and the other thing. And what if this? I'm a huge what if person. Should not be a what if person. No, no, no. But I try to think positively what if too. But I do think negatively what if also. So, but yeah, big what if. What if this happens? What if that happens? Oh. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the 6th holds in store for Bob. We go down and he has what's called a swallow test, which is pretty much what it sounds like. He goes in front of this, it's a specialized x-ray type of machine. They give him this special liquid to drink. As he drinks it, they kind of watch as it goes down. Now, Bob will know immediately whether the surgery worked or not, because if it didn't, he will be coughing right away. And the technician will also see it going into his lungs again. So, huge, huge, huge. Fingers crossed. Any prayers, thoughts, fingers crossed, anything crossed would be much appreciated. And, oh, I meant to actually start the video out with this. Totally forgot that. I'm just all over. I'm sorry, guys. I want to say a huge, huge thank you to you guys. You have been so supportive, so, all your well wishes, your thanks, your prayers, I should say, not thanks, but everybody's saying, don't worry about us, you know, just worry about Bob, and, you know, we'll all be here when you get back. And you have no idea how much that meant to me. I just loved reading those every day. They just, yeah, they brighten my day. I love you all. And yeah, while I didn't get through my comments yet, I'm quite a few days behind yet again. I will be hearting all your comments, which means, and I do read them every day. I just, you know, there are some questions and stuff, and I don't take the opportunity at that moment to answer them. But yeah, just know that from the bottom of my heart, I love you all. I love, love, love reading those comments. I always like reading my comments. But all the love that you guys showed to me, yeah, made my day. Every day, you guys made my day with all your love and support for me. So I did want to say that. I didn't mean to get teary-eyed, though. Okay. Back to the stories. I think we're about done with the negative stuff. You know, between me, my ex-husband, which, you know, by the way, we may be divorced. We're still good friends, though. So we vowed when we were getting divorced that we would not put the kids in the middle or anything like that. That is something horrendous to do to your kids. So, yeah, we vowed to be civil. We had split custody, so, you know, we would work out who got who when, and yeah. And then we ended up being pretty good friends. So yeah, it was real concerning for me, too, the fact that, you know, he went through this heart attack. Anyhow, you know, so those two things, and now Bob, like I said, I think things do work in threes. At least in our family, it always seems to happen. Oh, lordy, lordy. Let's see. What else? My new little grandson, that's a good subject. He is now, let's see, when we seen him at Thanksgiving, is he 5 months old now? August, September, October, November. No, June. Oh my gosh. June, July, August, September, October. Yeah, 5 months. 5 months old already, and he's getting so giggly and cute. Oh my gosh. And I don't get to see him a whole lot because my son lives over in Green Bay, which is about an hour and a half away. But they do post pictures on Facebook quite a bit, and thank heavens also on Instagram, because I don't go over on Facebook too often. I am much more on Instagram. So if you ever want to message me on Instagram. If you do message me on Facebook and I take a while to get back to you, that's why. I just don't go on Facebook. I will post once in a while on my Lisa's Coloring Corner channel. Lisa's Coloring Corner. Oh my gosh. What is it? Not channel. ID? No. I'm losing it. Anyhow, you know what I mean. I used to have just my personal one, and I decided to split it out so that I had my crafting channel and then my personal. I keep saying channel. No, it's not a group. So we may be friends in both groups. No, I'm going to say channels. But just know that I really don't post over in my personal one. If I do post, it will be in the Lisa's Coloring Corner one. So if you also send me a friend request, let me know via Instagram message so that I can go in and accept it. Otherwise, also, if it's, you know, somebody that you do watch my videos a lot, I don't necessarily know that, so I'm not really sure who you are. So sometimes I do not accept the friend request. So again, if you do send me a friend request, send me a message on Instagram to let me know, so that I can go into Facebook and accept that. Okay, just an FYI. I don't want hurt feelings out there if you sent me a request and I never even bothered to look at it. not my intention to hurt feelings at all. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? As I mentioned in my update video, I have been coloring a ton of one color lines books with gel pens. Even when I was having a problems, seeing yet, used the magnifying headset, eye patch, and went to town. I think I finished 1, 2, 3, would it be maybe even 4 books? Maybe more. When you concentrate on a specific book, page after page after page, you actually finish books. I finished a number of books. I did do a few with markers. And I don't know, because my month, of course, I have not done end of the month videos of what I've colored for the month, or supplies, books and supplies that I had gotten for that month. Because I have so many to record and we are so close to the end of the month, I do not think I am going to get to the end of the month videos for this month either. I may just have to do an end of the month videos from August all the way through December. So those will be some long videos. Yeah. I've also been diamond painting a lot, so you will see a lot of those in the end of the month video, whenever that will be, if at all possible. I would like to record at the end of this month, but like I said, that is coming up in a hurry next week. So yeah, all depends how much energy I can muster. See how much of this I can get through. I have a stack of books here you would not believe. I would say it's 1 foot, 2 foot. Well, I'm trying to picture a yardstick. I don't think it's quite that tall. Oh, it's at least 2.5 feet high though. Many of them, over half the pile, are books sent to me for flip-throughs. And that's why I really want to get working again on the channel and get some of these videos done. I also have supplies that were sent to me for swatching, or just to show. They're not all swatching videos. Just to show you guys, these companies have been so patient with me. Yeah, and I so appreciate that fact. So that's why now that I'm back, I really want to work on this stuff. However, I don't want to burn myself out either. I think before all this happened, I was starting to get burnt out. I really do. I think I actually needed this break. Now, was the break much longer than I intended? Yes, it was. Was it due to something good that I had to take this long break? Definitely not. However, even though I couldn't totally relax and enjoy the time off, due to everything I've talked about, it did give me a break from the channel. That doesn't mean I needed a break from you guys. Not whatsoever. Just from the standpoint of knowing, get in here, set everything up, record, edit, make thumbnails, you know, get everything uploaded, you know, just the whole scenario over and over again, because I do make so many videos, and that's fine. Once I get in here and I start recording, I'm fine. You know, normally I'll do the color and chat, then a bunch of flip throughs, maybe a swatching video or two. I kind of like to stay with the flip throughs once I start that. And yeah, I'm fine. Now, because it took me a while to get to the point where I could record today, I started a little bit later, and this color and chat is quite a bit longer because I did stop a couple times. I really have no idea. I'm sure it's over an hour. I don't know if it's an hour and a half. I have no idea. Regardless, you will get a little bit longer color and chats. Which, I don't know about you, I love longer color and chats. I did have a request from a subscriber to work on a Hannah Lynn diamond painting on the channel. Now, I do have a very large Hannah Lynn that I am currently working on. I wouldn't be able to do it down here, though. So what I want to do is see if I can use my floor model tripod. See if I can get that set up just right where I could record upstairs in my diamond painting room. Because, yeah, it's just too big to work on down here. Typically, Hannah Lynn would be... The ones I all have are from Diamond Art Club. The one I'm working on now is one of the bigger ones. They're not all that big, but they're still probably too big to work on down here. Maybe not. I'll have to look and see. But so at some point in the future, you can look forward to a, as they call it in the diamond painting world, a whip and chat. Work in progress. Rather than a diamond painting in chat. So if you ever see a whip and chat, you know it's diamond painting related, and the thumbnail would show diamond painting in it in some form or fashion. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. Again, with being backlogged so much, it probably will not be until January sometime. It's going to take me the entire month of December to try to get caught up on some things. Anyhow, I have a lot of swatching videos to do. And a lot of this stuff I bought before August. I just never had a chance to get to any of this stuff. I even bought a ton of stuff while I've been off. Yeah, I've bought some books and, you know, something here and there, but a lot of it is from quite a while ago. So, yeah, again, tons of stuff to catch up on. The only thing that I don't have a lot of to catch up on are the budget-friendly diamond paintings. And that's purely because when they would send me requests, I've been turning down a lot of them. I just don't have time to, those take a lot of time. Even though the videos themselves aren't necessarily real long, a lot of behind the scenes work. And so, yeah, and I just don't have time for that anymore. I don't ever have the problem of running out of things to do on my channel, however, which is a good thing. It's just a little stressful trying to get through as much as possible every week. But we'll get her done one way or another. After December 6th, if everything turns out okay, everything will be much less stressful. Of course, we have Christmas coming up in there too, so who has a lot of their Christmas shopping done? A lot of fantastic online Black Friday deals that have been going on for, what, the past month or more. They're not waiting till the day after Thanksgiving anymore, that's for sure. I think some of that has to do now with a lot of the actual stores, the brick and mortar stores as they call them, now being closed on Thanksgiving and Black Friday. You know, there's not the huge rush of people going into the stores on, standing in lines after eating turkey, or bright and early Friday morning. And I used to be one of those crazy ones that would do that, because you could get such fantastic deals. And I found so many nice things when my kids were small. Yeah, I would go battling them crowds, and I didn't mind it. I really didn't. The parking and checking out is what bothered me. The rest of it, not so much. Just got me in the Christmas spirit, I guess. So, yeah, I'm kind of weird that way. Yeah, what else? Well, I guess the last thing I want to talk about before I will leave you for today, because it is getting to be supper time. So, good thing I'm almost at the end. I have reached 12,500 subscribers. I have to thank, again, each and every one of you for subscribing. I appreciate it so, so much. I was initially going to wait until I hit 15,000 subscribers to do a nice giveaway. Because I did a nice giveaway last at 10,000 subscribers, and I thought, that's going to be a long, long time if and when I ever hit 5,000. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do a nice giveaway then at halfway in between, 12,500. And now I did hit that a little while ago. I think I'm a little over that now. So, because the year is fast coming to a close, and the fact that I will have had my YouTube channel for 5 years as of January 1st. That just boggles my mind. It really does. It's like, no, I must have counted that wrong. Like, no, I don't think I did. 5 years. That's unbelievable. So, 5-year anniversary, along with hitting the 12,500 mark in January. As of right now, again, this will be pending on anything happening in the future. I plan on doing a giveaway every weekend during my color and chat. So 4 giveaways. Now, these will be actual items here in the United States that I will be sending out. So, again, unfortunately, international people, I cannot send these items to you. Shipping is atrocious, but yet I do not want to exclude you guys completely. I am hoping I will have enough money after Christmas to do this. I'll work it out somehow. That I wanted to give you guys some gift cards. Now, I'm going to have to wait and see if I can do a giveaway for, say, a $25 gift card every weekend too, or whether I'm only going to be able to do it every other weekend. I would like to really be able to do it every weekend, but that just might not be feasible. because shipping for these, giveaway items alone, even in the United States, that postage adds up. And then that would be an additional $100 for these gift cards. So, yeah, you're looking at a couple $100. And I just, like I said, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But that is what I want to do. I have 4 items set aside for each of the 4 giveaways. It should be fun. It's my way of giving back to you. I can tell some have continued watching videos, whether it's new people, new subscribers, or whether some of you, I've heard some of you, to support the channel, have been going back and rewatching videos, watching ads, just so that I can make some additional monies from YouTube. Because, of course, with being gone for so long, my channel took a hit. I'm still surprisingly getting some subscribers, and I am making some money. It's way down, of course, but especially my Amazon affiliate links. Oh my gosh. Just a plug, I guess. If you are doing any Christmas shopping on Amazon, feel free. Down in the description below, I do have a general Amazon affiliate link. Just click on that. It'll take you over to Amazon. Anything you then purchase on Amazon, I get credit for. When you check out, it can't just be sitting in your basket, or it can't be on your wish list. If things go on your wish list, then I don't get credit. But once you check out, I get the credit. So, if you're buying from Amazon anyhow, going through my link would be very, very much appreciated. But of course, that that is up to you. That is not, definitely not a requirement. Just thought I'd mention it. So yeah, I want to do some giveaways, give back to you guys a little bit for showing me all the love, boy, especially, like I said, these past few months. Oh, yeah, I wake up and I'll sit and I'll read them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it just breaks my heart. You make me feel so good. So yeah, I think, boy, we're almost done. I should see if I can think of a few more things to talk about while I finish this up. And we could have the whole picture done in one color and chat. I didn't even think I'd get close to finishing this, because it's a whole page picture. Like I said, I gotta see if the cross-stitch version, I'm suspecting they come in the round hoops or a full one, but maybe not. And I love, love, love Christmas. It is my favorite time of the year. Isn't there a song that goes like that? I missed a 5, but we're going to leave it for now, just so I can get the background done. Lisa is losing it. But yeah, that's why I had to get this Christmas one out. Love, love, love Christmas pictures. Didn't get a chance to color many Halloween pictures. Nope. Normally, I would have done, 1 or 2 Halloween or fallish type of pictures in color and checks. That didn't happen. Sachin and Prachi Sachdeva have been sending me all their books, even though, You know, Sachin knew I was away from the channel. He is just the nicest person. Oh my gosh. And he said, that's no problem. You know, I'll send you the books anyhow. So then he'll always message me on Instagram when he sent me a new book, whether it's his or his wife's, Prachi's new book. And they've really been pumping out the books, so wowzers. And he came out with a new Christmas mosaic book with the cross stitch that I like to do. Definitely want to get one done in there now that I can see again. Yeah. So I gotta decide what fine liners. I haven't colored a picture like that in so long. You know, with the cross stitch method that you know that I love so much. So I definitely want to get that book out and color a page from there. Now those pictures take a little bit longer to do. I've been this past week really busy coloring patterns out of my Color and Create books. There's volumes 1, 2, and 3, and they are among my favorite pattern books. I think they were the first ones I ever got. I did finish volume 1 quite a while ago, I think last year, but I have now finished volume 2, and I am working on volume 3. So along with the one color lines while I was blind, get it? Okay, it didn't rhyme totally. It was close. Now that I'm seeing a little bit better, I am coloring in some of my pattern books. Again, just all gel pen and mostly my Divical Dual Metallic because they are so nice and juicy. Sorry, I know some people don't like that word. But they are. And so they color so nicely. I did just recently, this past week, color a couple with my Sargent Art. I like the Sargent Art not only because they are also quite smooth to color with, but you can buy each specific color in bulk. There are only 10 colors in total, but that's fine for me. And then I have a box of, I believe there's boxes of 24 that you can get for all 10 colors. At least you could. I have not had to purchase any for quite a while. Number one, because I've been using Divical the most. But number two, I do have boxes of each color. So I think I am getting low on a couple. I know I was getting low on, was it red? And I did order another box a few months back. So I know that color was you know, available. And of course, I already had to order another purple. And I needed pink. There was no pink in the 24 count. Well, you can also buy these in a 96 count. I needed purple. Didn't realize I was so low on solo. And I needed pink ASAP. So guess what I did? Yes, I ordered the 96 pack. So yeah, I have pink coming out of my ears. But that's okay. That's okay. Better that than running out, right? Okay. Hey, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? We did it! Now that light gray might be... No, I guess in person, it's good. It's good. You can tell that it's gray. The other ones, teal, I guess, is okay. On screen, it looks really blue. Pink, I want to see if I have a lighter pink. And the orange, or it's supposed to be peach. It looks more orange. I think the light blue looks okay. But yeah, I think mainly the peach, maybe the pink. I like the light purple. I think that looks good. But yeah, see how close? I mean, you can see a difference between the two, but the pink should really be lighter. Yeah. And maybe there isn't one available. I'll have to look on the color chart because I did already make a color chart for these, naturally. So yeah, while I was off, I did get this all reorganized. If you didn't see, way long time ago, I showed you my binders for my color charts, including this little book. This little book went to market. Oh my gosh, I am losing it. My binders have changed drastically, so that may be another one to go on my to-do list. But what I did in here, this is just a mini binder you can buy, 2-ring, and it comes with some divider cards. So what I did is I took my label maker. I don't know if you can see this on camera. And I put the name of each color by number company that I color with the most. So in other words, Belba Family, Sachin and Prachi, those Circulism art books, Alice Mills, of course, Color Questopia, Sun Life Drawing, Jade Summer. I do have a number of the Circle and Square Mosaic books. All my Bright Ideas paper publishing, which includes Jennifer Rowling, Husky Wannafly, and what was the other one that started? Jennifer Rowling is by far the biggest. My Mindware books, and finally Sonia Rai. So yeah, and then I do have a few extra tabs. I do have a miscellaneous back here. I do have a few for the David Woodruff books. And then there's 5 Ideas paper publishing, Melanie Mosley, Zen Doodle. So I do have a few miscellaneous. So I did want to have a miscellaneous section. Yes, I am very OCD about this. I know some people don't like having specific lists with specific colors because they don't want to use that one color up all the time because then it'll run dry. So every time they color a picture, they just scratch on the side of a piece of paper, see if that's the one they want, and off they go. I can't do that for some reason. I just cannot do that. I'm going to put this one back in, and I try to keep them kind of in order of how much I use them. Now I have Oros back a little ways because they are newer. I think I'll just put them right here. So you can see already I made it change to my Cali Art brush markers. Eventually I will get around to retyping these. I had a stack of papers probably that thick that needed to be typed up and printed. I mean, it was a huge project. I have accomplished a few huge projects, both coloring related and diamond painting related. But there's many on my list yet, as you can imagine. Yes, that's another reason it was so nice to take a break from the channel. It was really hard to do color charts, as you can imagine, but I did manage to get a couple done. One, I actually took a really nice lit magnifying glass I have just to read the lettering on the pencil. Because, yeah, even with the headset, for some reason the headset magnifier was not working right. I don't know. But I ended up using that. And so, yeah, I got it done. Now that I'm seeing better, they're probably not at all in the correct order. And I'll be looking at it and I'll be like, why did you do that? Okay, I'm going to leave it where I left off. If you noticed, I purchased a whole bunch of these little bitty rubber bands. I wanted to put these around one end. And the reason I did this is because I have brush tips on both ends, right? So I want to continue using one specific end, so that if you didn't see my review of these markers, there is an ink cartridge in each end of these. Each ink cartridge is equal to one full-size marker. So there are essentially two markers in here. Well, I wanted to use, because on mine they're identical, I wanted to use up one side of this first. Use it continuously before I flip to the other end. If I didn't indicate which end I'm using, I'd be using both of those. Well, I kind of want to now, when I dry this one out, to just go ahead and replace the ink cartridge, which is one nice feature about these. Or maybe leave it dry because I want to finish what I'm coloring, right? I don't want to stop in the middle, so then I'll just flip over to the other side. But, you know, then at the end of that project or whatever, go ahead and just change it out. No more dripping, you know, to refill and stuff. It's going to be so fast to refill these. Yeah, the only downside is definitely the price. But again, if I remember, I will link this review swatching video down below. If you want to see that, I will link both the mosaic and cross-stitch versions of this book, so that you can, again, go over to Amazon, see if you want to check it out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. As always, if you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up. Before leaving, leave any questions, comments, or concerns down in the comment section below. I love reading through your comments. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. I usually post at least one video every day, whether it's coloring related, diamond painting related, something. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day and enjoying your weekend. I'll see you in my next video. And as always, happy coloring. Bye, guys.